And today we have the Tres Amigos, however you want to say it. And we're really excited for you guys to know a little bit about what makes us a dynamic group, what makes us best friends, and how we felt 2024 was, but most importantly, what we're excited for 2025. All right, Foz, how do you think 2024 went?
I think we had a great 2024. I think we grew a lot. I think we learned a lot about ourselves. I think you've established the social media aspect of it, the podcast. I think it's really gotten our name out there a lot. From a work perspective, I think we did a few very tough jobs. Our team has developed incredibly. Yeah, I think overall we had a great year financially. We had a good year as well. So yeah, overall we had a good year. Everything showing promise of growth and continued success.
Do you think it was harder or easier than you thought that 2024 was going to go?
2024 was easier than a lot of my years helping run this business.
I agree.
Yeah, 2024 was for me was a bit easier overall.
Which is crazy.
There's some ups and downs, having to staff and having to make some adjustments. But overall, I enjoyed 2024 from a professional working perspective.
That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've been so stressed all year.
I know. You think that plays a role in, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like 2024 flew. Do you think I feel like it flew because maybe it was a little...
I also feel like it's our team. I
overall,
feel like
it was
the team
easier,
has made it much more helpful. Having the team that we have, having the staff that we have, and allowing people to, to be leaders in different positions that we didn't have in 2023, I think is what allowed us to maybe have a lot less maybe busy work, and that kind of like consumes us. That's why I feel that it was a little easier in that sense. Because I know it to me 2024 was a very busy year, but I've definitely had years where I've been, I don't want to use the word miserable, but they're a lot tougher of a year. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not saying that. That we weren't busy. We're as busy as every year. We're definitely just as busy. I'm just saying in terms of, I guess, major stress, major issues,
strides.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know, just the way I feel in terms of what we were doing and what we're doing and how it, how everything's going.
I think that we've been able to build, establish and mold a culture that has helped us as leaders, but has also helped our team developing as leaders just enjoy their work a little bit more, be a little bit more productive, have more of a work-life balance, enjoy what they're doing, really find purpose in what they're doing, and care more about what they're doing. I think that if we can celebrate a little win, we can look back and be proud of the culture that we've established, that has allowed our entire company, us included, to be a little bit more prideful, which is one of our core values. A little bit more prideful about what we're doing and really collectively just get together as a team.
Yeah, the team has definitely helped 100%.
This has been my funnest year, like the year that we've had the most amount of like growth. Now, have we seen the actual growth happen is a different thing, but I feel it, I feel like the camaraderie, like sometimes, just 2 years ago or 1 year ago, like the people that we had here weren't the people that we have now, not only the actual people, but the quantity of people. And I think that plays a massive role. But you talk about culture. Talk to me about the culture that we have now compared to maybe the culture that we had maybe in years prior. Because I think, like, I love our culture. I think the culture we have is, it's not for everybody, but for who the person that enjoys it, it's a pretty wicked culture.
Our culture is great. I think that the opportunities growing have lent itself to us having to get closer to our people, right? We've had to coexist with our people a little bit more to really keep the high level of service and quality that we always promise. And that has led to better relationships.
Internally, you're saying?
Internally.
No,
Yeah.
no,
The fact that we've just gravitated towards our people. Think about this. We've gravitated towards our people. It's made them better leaders. And it's made our collective work better, I think. Just by gravitating towards our people, connecting with them on ways that we've never been able to, building the relationship with them, going to golf with them on a Friday, taking people who we've never taken out to lunch, taking them out to lunch on a regular basis, building a personal, professional relationship has, just brought about a better work environment. That's how our culture has taken a leap and stride, I think. I really believe it.
I'm interested in how people see the culture from the outside compared to what we feel on the inside. If you've seen our culture from the outside, obviously there's a significant amount of media presence that we've poured into in the last year. In the comments, if you can kind of just let us know how do you see and how do you envision our culture being? Because one thing is like perception being one thing, but like the reality being another. I don't know. It's what we do is extremely difficult, but like it's inevitable for us to fall in love with the people that we have here because not only are they incredible at what they do, but we have good people. Like we start loving them. Like calling Foz on a Friday, and I'm like, "Where you at?" And he's hitting golf balls with Henry and
right with one of our with our one of our lead supers.
I don't know. What do you think, Foz? How do you see our culture?
I love our culture. I agree with Jazz. I agree with Jazz. Our ability to connect with our employees has really helped us in our professional demand. We are entrusting the people to do what they need to do, and I think they're doing a good job, and they're very passionate about what they're doing, which I think is ultimately what gives us confidence in them, because we see that they're passionate and that they really, really want to do a good job.
And they care.
They really care.
100%.
They
Everybody
really
here cares.
Yeah, they really care a lot. And I think they care more than honestly they need to. More than I've ever cared.
More than we know.
Huh?
More than we know. They care more than we think.
No, I'm saying me. Like when I worked when I was in corporate America, I didn't have as much passion to.
But did you have the leader? Did you have the boss? Did you have the friend?
I just think it was the scale. The scale was just so magnified that we were just another number. So imagine it's very different when you have 19 to 20 employees and you talk to people daily to when you have 100 people, and it becomes a bigger machine, I guess, and you don't interact with people as often. You get to the Christmas ugly sweater party and there's 50 people that you've never even seen before. Yeah. It's very different. You're almost like like a number.
I don't want to go on an extreme tangent, but how do you think we need to maintain that? Because
that's very difficult to maintain as we grow.
Personally, my opinion is entrusting I think that everybody here is a leader. But when everybody really understands that they're a leader, and as we grow and as new people come in, or even just the people that were here, when everybody sees themselves as leaders, they're establishing their own culture. So like Albert, you're obviously a leader at the top. But on the masonry side, you have a culture. Oscar has a culture in the field. We start to establish a culture in pre-construction. Accounting can establish a culture, right? And that's, when it's all positive, it just builds on. So that's how I think.
Yeah, with a bunch of different cultures.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about our media culture? Because it's
me. You asking me?
Yeah,
both of us. I think the media culture has developed the overall culture of the office. So I think the media culture
The office of the company.
of the company, I think the media culture, the media culture overall has enhanced the overall culture of the company in the sense that people really feel like they're part of the company and they're part of the growth of our company. And like what I was saying before, it's leading to more passionate work effort in the company. That's how I really agree, and I think you guys are doing a great job. I think people don't realize what it takes to have that media presence. I think it takes work that people don't realize what it takes, and I think that the media team and you are at the head are doing a good job in terms of really marketing ourselves and putting ourselves out there.
100%. I also think that if anybody internally caught wind of anything not being authentic, it would change everything 100%, and that's not the case. I think that what is being put out is what it is, you know. In an edited version that makes sense for a 45-second reel or what have you, I think it's as accurate as it can be. That goes with our media team being connected to our people. Maybe in larger organizations, the media team isn't as connected to everybody on the ground, you know, but we have that luxury. So we're taking advantage of every moment. I think the media team is doing a good job of being authentic on what we put out there. So there's no lies. There's no lies here. There's no cover. This is what it is.
Yeah, it's hard.
And which was your goal from the beginning. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think there's something special going on here. And, between Ron and Taylor, what they are able to do on a daily basis to really capture what we do is, I think it's amazing. I love it. I think it's something you had talked about earlier that this year was easier. I think that this year for me was so much easier because of how much more fun it was, And
I agree.
Yeah. I definitely do not mean easier in the sense of that we worked less.
Yeah.
We definitely had the same.
Yeah, it just
work
felt
demand.
easier. It wasn't.
It
We weren't
felt
feeling
better.
annoyed.
Yeah, it felt better and it felt easier because of the team and yeah, think about it. It felt easier and the social media aspect was another level of responsibility that you added to your plate. That's technically more work that you had to take on and you had to make an adjustment in order to find the time to run the media division and to fully run the media. So technically you worked more and you feel like you enjoyed the year more. So that's obviously, that says something.
It's funny how that can be taboo.
What?
How you can say, "Oh, I'm having a great time doing what I, working. I'm having a great time," and it's taboo because everybody is always.
Like what
They've
Alan says, it's frowned upon.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Like peeing on an airplane.
Like doing more on an airplane. People have always connected work to. I gotta work.
Like the
You know?
grind.
But
Ron and T, how do you guys feel that 2024 was in terms of our media and what we're doing? Because you guys got like sucked into like a vacuum essentially, and you kind of like the train was moving. And I think now since you guys have started, definitely since the time that Ron started, I feel the train is going a lot faster. And from the time that Taylor started, it's caught more momentum. How do you guys feel in terms of like trying to capture, honestly, what we do on a daily basis?
I mean, for me, it was kind of interesting because I came in over a year ago. You get me? So to start from scratch, you get me? And to give me the opportunity to grow and learn with you guys. You get me? Like, the fact that you were so interested in learning this helped my job be easier because it made me, like, my prep fun. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like, Oscar wants this, here's your edit, here's my invoice. It's like, no, what's the play, what's the gear? You were in tune, you were locked into learning the media. Nah, it's not just like, yo, hire somebody to make videos for us. Yeah, I got you.
And a lot of people do that, honestly.
Yeah,
a lot of
people
companies,
do
they do that. They hire like the marketing person.
And it can look good.
And it looks amazing. No, it might even look, honestly, they might look even sometimes better than
Yeah.
ours. But
That's what I'm saying.
but it's less authentic than what we produce. Like what we produce. Taylor, tell me, how do you feel?
Hit it.
Tell
No,
her.
I mean,
Wait, Jazz has said we're being authentic. So
Hit it. Yeah.
Oh, I have
No. I
problem
think she,
being
There's nobody more
I think there's
authentic.
no other option.
if anyone's gonna be authentic on
Yeah.
this podcast, it's definitely gonna be me. No, I came in when obviously the social media was already established, and I just could see that a lot more could be done, which is why we, started doing more videos weekly. We started doing more fun videos, started doing trending videos, started, even just doing daily project videos. For me, that's really easy to edit. Ron does amazing, like very cinematic, captures the moment sort of videos, but it's also good to like shake things up. And podcast wise, there's been some like ups and downs with that for me, just because I came from a place that didn't have a podcast before. So it was a challenge for me to kind of get a grasp on, what was expected, how to set up, the sound, remembering certain equipment. It's been definitely an interesting year, but I think we kind of got a hang of it, especially together as a team, and we're only going to do better.
Literally in 6 months, we all went to film school.
Don't downplay anything that you guys have done. I was just thinking about it now when Ron came in and like setting up and then you sit down, just take a second. It's like producing a podcast. Like that wasn't on Ron's resume before you started here. Is that right?
No.
So that's impressive. And you guys have all adapted and really done an amazing job.
I think the hardest thing for me is that in an industry that is known for being so fake and for being in a city that's so fake, we've essentially put it all on the line on a daily basis. Like it's definitely sharpened me as a person, as a leader. I think it's made everybody here better. Like you can't hide. Like there's no shadow to hide in here. And then also I think it's also attracted certain clients and certain people. But I also feel like it's because we also get a lot of people who unfollow us on a daily basis, which is fine. Like we want for the people that are with us to just to know who we are. And the reality is to not waste time. If you're not the client for us, if you're not the employee for us, if you're not the partner for us, it's better that you kind of know about it from the get and that we don't waste time. And I feel like the last from 2016 to 2022, 2023, we kind of learned who was not with us the hard way. And the media allows for people to know like, oh, these people are with us and in a very transparent way. And I'm very proud of the what we've done, me, Taylor, and Ron. But it's not even that. It's everybody. Everybody has bought in to the actual media, and I can't.
I didn't tell you this, but the other day I got a text from somebody that we know many, many years. The person texts me, hey, randomly. We don't talk every day at all. Randomly text me, hey, what's the point of the podcast? And I gave it to him in a one-liner, 5-6 words. What's the point of the podcast? And he said, congratulations. You guys are doing a great job. And I want to celebrate the success. And it's very simple, right? It's like it had ultimately one goal. Right? A lot of different goals have sprung out of it, but it had one goal. And I think if people are asking, it's probably because they're like, they will want to confirm. When you want to confirm something, you ask a question.
Well, I really appreciate
on the social media side, I've had people when they ask me like new people that I'm meeting and they ask me, hey, like what exactly does John Bell do? And I refer them over to the gram and I get them to follow us and I pretty much tell them, look, this is like the work that we do. This is, what we do. This is who we are, and then ultimately through the gram, they'll see, oh, they have a podcast. They, and they will decide to watch one or a snip and then they're interested in a snip and then they're like, hey, you know what? I want to watch a little bit more about this. And then they tune into the podcast. I always refer them, to the gram. If I get their contact or not, hey, at least follow us on the gram. You know, see who we are, see what we do. You never know how that folds over. You know,
that's true.
over time. You know, we're all something that's very interesting and that I think is, I'm not sure who told me the other day, but they're like, man, that's something that you just have to keep pushing, you know? And it's true. Like, I feel like the presence and the social media presence and the gram, I feel like it's a work in progress. You know, you just got to keep pushing it, it's like marketing. Just have to keep getting in front of people's eyes and it will organically grow, you know, as long as you're not putting anything out there that's negatively impacting people. You know,
the hardest thing with the media, well, one, it costs a lot of money. Every podcast costs
it costs money. It costs money.
You know, every podcast costs us, I don't know, maybe $500-600. So that's just that. And then the media costs us money to actually run the actual media and having from graphic designers and videographers and marketing managers and all that. But there's also, like, for me personally, there's also like an expectation to like keep going. It is fun. It's very easy, but there is a negative. I don't want to use the word negative, but there's something difficult for me because last year was like, oh, Oscar started a podcast and you guys started a podcast and it's amazing. You lose like that kind of like the hype going now into 2025 where it's not like if you stop the podcast, it's almost like,
Oh, that's it.
what happened with those people? They kind of quit on it. So,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, I
That's
guess
important.
it's hard. It's
my
not.
advice would be,
You can't stop. Or we're not gonna stop.
and to get viewer, you know, advice and I guess it's gonna develop into a point where it's very content driven. You know, it's gonna have to attract people from the content that you're putting out there. You know, but yeah, I can see that as a stressful demand.
I also think it's important to know
It's a burden.
Yeah.
Well, you're successful. You know, you're successful with everything that you do, so you can't, like, in your mind, hey, you can't let this not be a success. So you got to kind of continue to push. I hadn't even honestly thought about that from your perspective, but yeah, I could see that being a significant pressure.
The guests have to be better. The production has to be better. The sound has to be better. The locations have to be better. My presence as a host, the way that I adapt, the way that I do it, everything has to be better. Everything, and it's not just on the construction side. It's not only personally, but everything. If we're not getting better, we're getting worse. But honestly, I cannot be any more excited for this year. I can't wait for us to have good named people here, people who bring that entertain us, people who educate us, people who different locations. Like the episode, you know, prior to this one, we were at the Biltmore and we're doing the toy drive. We want to push the limits on the media. So, anyways, before we move on to the next
Last thing I want to say, it's important to note that you also have to not sacrifice the business side. You know, your day to day, on the business.
This doesn't sacrifice my business side.
That's what I'm saying.
This
That's what I'm saying.
sacrifice my personal life.
Personal, right? Exactly. So personal, business, podcast, you throw something into the mix, it's keeping an A game on all fronts. That's impressive.
Well, last thing I want to say about this is that I appreciate what both of you guys do, because I think some people might know, some people might not know, but we're three best friends. We've known each other essentially our whole life. And it's an interesting dynamic working with your best friends. We all three of us have extremely different personalities, but I really, really appreciate, and I know that Ron, Taylor, and a lot of people appreciate the trust that both of you have in allowing us to run the media and allowing us to produce and to show the people, because essentially what we have internally is one thing, but what we show externally is we're representing you, we're representing our families, we're representing our entire culture. So we as the media team really appreciate what both of you do in trusting us, that you guys know that everything that we're going to push is in your best interest and everything in your family's best interest, and not only in the short term, but like Taylor always says, in the long term, you know. So that means a lot to us, because it means a lot to me, because the amount of trust that you guys show in that is only like a fragment of the trust that you show, you know, as friends and as partners. So, all right, what stands out? Were you going to bathroom? always has to go to the bathroom. Listen, I know you know you're short, but I didn't know you had such a small bladder. Just go. You want us to move the podcast over there? Can you take your mic with you so we can ask you a couple of questions? You got your ladies feel better? You emptied your bladder?
I can't tell you how good I feel. There's nothing like an empty bladder.
All right. So, what highlight stands out for you, Foz, in 2024?
2024 highlight. 2024 highlight. Ooh. Come back to me on this one.
Jazz, do you have any highlights?
I want to think about.
I have one quick one.
I want to think about this.
One quick one. A quick one. It might not be the biggest one because I got to think more about it as well.
Do you know what makes this? Hold on. Do you know what makes what we do easier? Is I feel that every year we us three personally trust each other more.
I agree.
And that we have independently established each other, you know, in our own person, in our own group as leaders. And there's some days that, honestly, there's things that what you do, I have no idea sometimes what you do. And there's things that what I do, you have no idea. And I'm not asking you what you're doing, and you're not asking me what I'm doing, and I'm not asking him. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
before, I felt like we were all reviewing estimates.
It was hard.
And we were all in the field together. And honestly, I feel like Faw's always been by himself. But to a respect of it, we were still kind of always together, and we've kind of like divided and conquered, which you feel, honestly, that would make things harder.
That's big.
But it hasn't. So I don't
agree.
know.
That's a good point. We haven't spoken about that ever.
I don't
That's a good
know. I
point.
feel that what we have together as us three. Did you just fart?
No.
Oh.
That's my. That's my.
That's a
cell phone.
that's a highlight.
That's my
That's
cell
one
phone.
of your highlights.
What?
That's what you asked me, right? What's the
No,
highlight?
he thought of it as I was thinking about.
No,
my
I
response.
was just thinking about it
and it's true.
because.
But I would say this year more than any other year. I would go back to that.
Okay, when you
So
put up
what-
against
what
the
you're-
wall and
This
as
year
leaders,
more than any other year.
we had no other choice but kind of like divide and conquer.
Which ties into my response. One of the highlights of this year is hiring a new pre-construction estimator. You know, that was a leadership opportunity that grew within the company. It was something that, you know, kind of removed us from that role a bit and allowed the leadership role to develop.
Yeah, because
So
before you were estimating,
yeah,
I was estimating,
right. We, you know,
but mostly
dabbling
you were
in pre-construction.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, in project management. You know, and when you start to put people in roles that can ultimately lead to some kind of leadership, I think that played some kind of you know impact. So you allowing, you know, to just remove yourself a bit from that, right, and trust more, like you said. Albert also hired somebody in that role, you know, under him.
all three of us hired somebody.
Yeah, I think that was a big step.
I don't think we've talked about that before.
No.
You hired somebody in pre-construction, Foz hired somebody in accounting, and then I hired people in the field, and I hired somebody in the media side.
Correct. So the way and I'm involved in recruiting, I have some initial conversations with candidates, and it always comes back to that conversation. I tell them, hey, look, we've grown in the field. We've grown in project management. You know, over the last few years, we've grown in accounting. Now a company is growing in their accounting department. It's time we grow in our pre-construction department. Think about it. That's how.
Do you see that post I sent you the other day?
No.
You didn't see the
Which
post
one?
I sent you? Of the company's pre-construction team?
Maybe. Did I respond to it? I don't
No,
remember
yeah.
now. No?
No. It's all relative,
gotta
you
look
know, but they have their pre-construction team's like 15 people. You
Think
know,
about that.
You know, their pre-construction team is almost the size of our entire company.
Right. Right.
But to me it's something that
But it's something that maybe, you know, a few years back we didn't really put into perspective, and this year it's come to fruition. Every department has grown. Field operations has grown. Project management has grown. Office operations has grown. Accounting has grown. Pre-construction has grown. Media has grown. So it's really put us against the wall, and hey, we either continue to lead and develop leaders so that they can lead, or we
sink.
or we sink. And I think this year has been a positive outcome.
We need our office space to grow.
That's a good one.
I'm telling
What do you envision
listen,
for that?
listen,
No. What do
we
you
made a-
envision for that? Ask
We
him.
made a massive mistake with
That's a
not,
good one.
with not getting that across the street.
Oh, they already rented
It's
it
so
out?
funny.
Really?
Yeah.
You know
That
how
would've been good.
my dad is always very. He's just very. My dad is very.
We're going to
witty.
talk about that 'cause that's really important. Go
My
ahead.
dad's very smart. I would say
Yeah.
not use any other word. But I'm talking to him because we don't talk often, and we're sitting down. I'm telling him about Venetian pool. I'm telling him about these jobs and stuff like that. He says, "Mijo, y ven acá. ¿Cómo ustedes van a crecer en esa oficina ahorita? Van a necesitar otra oficina? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know, But that's a good one. I want to ask.
listen,
I want to ask Albert about that.
No, he's going to talk about it. But
We
before he
have
talks about
we
it,
have like one more station left.
do you I don't, like so,
We have one more station.
we have one employee that continues to talk about how we need more bathrooms and we need more space and we need all of that. Well, even today, me and you kind of had like I don't know if you want to call it an argument, but you hung up on me, so that was fine.
No,
but
you hung up on me. You hung up on me.
no, you hung up on me.
That's a good one.
But
4 or 5 times a day.
I don't have a fear of growing, but the problem is that every single person that comes through this office is a high level person making, almost 6 figures or past 6 figures. So it's like, even like right now, there's the office across the street became available for rent. The reality is maybe we should have rented that, but it just puts so much of like an extra burden or an expectation to also grow that I feel that us as a company, as John Bell, we've always, even like with the trucks, like Iram's truck is a perfect example. Instead of buying the diesel 4-door, we bought the gas 2-door. And then like a year later, we realized that his car was too small.
I agree. But everything comes with a season. Everything in life and in business and what we do, it comes with a season. I think at that time we made the right choice to not buy the diesel. Even though, 6 years later, 7 years later, it broke down and we had to replace the transmission. But that thing was efficient in pricing during a time in which we needed to buy something a little bit more efficient, and it lasted and it paid itself off. And I think it was I get what you're saying. Hey, let's spend more now so that later we can be more efficient.
Stuff. I'm gonna back up.
But hold on, I'm sorry. In our office, we technically have one more station, and I work in the pit. You don't work in the pit. You work in the pit sometimes when you come in and you're kind of like, but I sit in the pit for an hour and a half reviewing stuff on the masonry side. It's very hard to work in there. That's why when you pass by here, you have our PMs walking around the outside because it's very hard to have a conversation.
Shout out to the pit. They've adapted and evolved. They do a good job.
They go, they speak in the lounge, or they'll walk outside, or like there's conversations happening, and I'm telling the guys, hey, talk a little, like talk in your inside voice.
Listen, what we're trying for you guys to understand is
Oscar,
that
how many times have you told tell
Tell Foster
shut the hell up in the back? I can't hear.
The problem is, look, there's no John Bell. John Bell doesn't exist as a made up name. There's no investor. There's no mom. There's no dad. There's no grandfather. It's literally like, it's us, So the reality is that, yeah, we would love a bigger office. We would love that people had their own office. But we also want to be, competitive to our clients. The more that we grow and the more that our overhead is, the more expensive we are. And also, we're also in an economy that is not the most like fruitful economy in the world. We have inflation's through the roof, interest rates are through the roof, cost of living is through the roof. Like you can have a 1-bedroom apartment for $2,900, $3,000 plus like utilities. So we are trying to be as efficient as possible because a lot of the companies go out of business because they almost, it's not that they grow too much, it's that they don't know where to stop. And maybe it'd be a detriment to us. We're only 34, 35, 33 years old. You can guess who's 35 and 33. You'd be surprised. But the reality is that we're we're just South Florida, Westchester, South Miami, kids running a business, and we're doing the best we can. And listen, there's no one that pushes the limits more. There's no one that wants to grow more. There's no one that wants to hire more than me. But we also have to be, cognizant of the fact that it costs money to run a business. And but I also know, and I cannot wait, and I tell a lot of people all the time, you're gonna see the office that we're gonna have. Before we had our home, we rented a 600 square foot apartment, for 5 years. Like, everything in life takes sacrifice, and I feel that we are right now in a season of extreme sacrifice.
Which I'll add to that.
I really want Faust to talk about that. No, but go ahead. You're ready.
Yeah, all I'll say is that tight quarters this year, because we've grown and expanded, have also called for a tight-knit group.
Oh, we'll
Plays
talk
a
about
role.
what we announced today.
It plays a role. It plays a role in that. I totally believe in that. We have such a tight group because we are working and feeding off each other all day.
Dude, 14 people, and I want you to talk about what we talked about today, but 14 people, sometimes 15 people in 1,000 square feet, bro, that's hard. That's like for 14 people to get along on a daily basis
And with no dividers.
with no
No
dividers,
dividers.
open
Let's
space,
say
no
3
cubicles.
full dividers.
Open pit, open format, no doors. Nobody here has a door. Locked door.
it's an office. I don't have an office.
There's not nobody.
So talk to us about what we want today.
Refresh my memory.
Business.
Best business.
So
Best business.
I'll touch on it.
Best business.
We've been awarded.
Best business.
We've been awarded best business. So we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to apply for Best Places to Work 2025. We put out employee surveys amongst our entire group
Last year in 2024.
last year in 2024 over the span of a couple months, and we've been awarded Best Places to Work 2025, which is an amazing
I thought he
accomplishment.
was gonna give us 5-2.
No, I know, which is honestly you and me coming from corporate America. I know you guys as well. You hear about those.
Do you think we
every
could have,
year.
honestly, be honest with me, do you think that we could have won Best Places to Work by the South Florida Business Journal if our office was 3 stories and we had a 5,000 square office?
Probably not. Not this year. Maybe in the future.
Yeah,
but
in the
not
future,
this
but
year.
not this year.
Not this year. So it's funny because on the staffing side, we view it differently. Don't grow to the job. Just grow.
Job to the grow.
Don't grow to the job. Just grow organically, and then the jobs will come. No, this is true. The jobs will come. So stupid.
Where do you find this guy?
I don't know where you found him. You tell the viewers where you found this guy.
You found him.
But anyway, in the office, we've taken an opposite approach, which has worked. Because if we take the approach that we take on our staffing and everything else, we'd say, screw it. Lease or buy the
Biggest building.
10,000, 15, 20, 25,000 square foot place, and we
No,
will.
I never thought about that.
Now we will fill it. That's without a doubt. We will fill it. But maybe 2024 wouldn't have been as successful.
When did we rent this office? What year was it?
It
Jack's-
was May 2021.
2021. So right after COVID. That was literally right out of
But
COVID.
we moved in September.
Right. We started leasing it, and then we did some minor modifications, and then we moved in September.
And before we move topics, I witnessed Albert speaking to our field guys the other day about the truck. We were talking about the truck,
Which is ready.
the diesel truck.
I need $7,000.
Oh yeah,
by
because
the
they
way.
were when
for
we
the
were
journey.
we were outside and they were
And it's-
saying
and it's true.
oh, that truck's not meant for that. That truck's
it's-
not meant for that.
Right, and it's true what Albert said. I think it should not go unnoticed. Before we had an office, before we had employees, before we had any kind of brick and mortar, you guys invested in
In the
I know
truck.
that. In that truck.
And
right?
that truck-
Diesel or not, and that truck is still around.
That truck. That truck.
And it was an
got its
investment in
money's
our
worth.
it was an investment in our people. The same way today we invest in technology, the same way today we invest in social media. It was an investment in our people. It should not go unnoticed.
That truck received bonus depreciation, bro.
100% bonus depreciation, by the way.
It shouldn't go unnoticed.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
100% depreciated.
Yeah.
Those are the things you need to talk about.
Yeah.
When
That-
they
that-
kind of called Foz, he's like, you know, you guys can depreciate this 100%. And Foz like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Here
we're
we
going to
go.
get another truck. Listen, what do you think, guys, has been your favorite project that we did in 2024? Foz.
2024.
Favorite project. It doesn't have to be complete. It can be started.
Man, my favorite project is Viscardio.
Wow.
Viscardio.
So Vascardio is an ambulatory surgical
An
center.
ambulatory surgical center in Hialeah.
Wow. How come?
I think that job, first of all, is a
Did you know he was going to say that?
At all.
it's a good
Totally at all. I
it's
know
a
he
good
loves it, though, but
it's a good profitable project. It's our first ACA project that has really taken a lot of detail, and I think it has really stepped up our project management. I think that's a very complicated project that, although not tall in stature, has a lot of intricacies and a lot of MEP coordination, ACA inspections. I think it's a project that has really helped us grow as a company in terms of the difficulty of the project. You know, in the portfolio, it probably doesn't show, but
It made it better. It made us better.
It definitely made us better. 100% made us
What do you
better.
think?
That job
Jay,
had intricacies that,
What do you think it was your favorite
in
project?
my opinion, it was a job that started in 23 and ended in 24 at HTM. I really loved HTM as a project as a whole. I think it was a little bit of everything in one. It had a little bit of structural new construction, had a little bit of tenant improvement, and it had a little bit of luxury high end, which as a whole, we've done them individually. As a whole, it kind of wrapped things up. The client architect dynamic was interesting and a successful one. And, selfishly, I played a role in estimating and a little bit of project management. I was a little closer to it than in any other project. And it's something that you can walk through today and still see what we left there.
What about you, Oscarito?
Best project?
Yeah, of this year. It doesn't have to be finished. It has to have at least started.
So I had a few 2024 goals. One was to save a certain amount of money. Give me my phone real quick. I don't wanna. Can you get my phone? One was to save a certain amount of money. One was to just rip the whole thing out of the thing. Here, I'll tell you my goals. And the reason that this project was, which is it's the West Miami Recreation Center. There's
Oh, that's true. It did start this year, and we're
Oh, that's a good one.
right there. Yeah, it's a good one.
Where's this thing? Goals.
Notes. Search.
I still stick with my. I'm with you on the goal and how it's fulfilled a goal. I'm with you there.
So my number one goal is for us to do $30 million worth of billings this year. We didn't reach it. It's the only one that I don't have checked off. But that's fine. We're gonna blow that away in 2025. Start a podcast by a certain date. Spend more time in the office. Done that.
No,
Finish.
spend less time in the office.
No, I spent a lot of time here.
That's your goal? That was your goal? Spend more time in the office?
I remember that.
I don't remember that.
I
one.
remember that.
Finish our website and blow up our media. I think we absolutely accomplished that one. Implement Procore. And my last one was, there's two more. One is to land a multi-story project, more than 3 stories, and to get a tattoo.
I know another one, though. You don't want to say it, but it's okay.
Which one is it?
I don't want to say it.
To get Isabella pregnant?
Yeah.
That's my personal goals. So personal.
Sorry. I was mixing them.
Yep.
We talk personal and business, you know?
So my personal goals was to get Isabella pregnant, and that was successful. To be a great dad, organize our finances and save money, visit a gastroenterologist. That worked.
You
but
did that.
My heartburn is still active.
And you have
hence the Tums here.
You have
So
you have
that-
a hiatal hernia. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, and then the other one was to get to 200 pounds and stay fit, and I failed that one.
No, yeah, right, man.
Nah, but you stayed fit.
Nah, yeah, right,
Maybe
man.
not 200 pounds.
I
but
think you
stayed
did.
fit.
I think you did a good job with that one.
Come on, give me some.
I think you did a good job with that one.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Can we say?
I'm
Can we
being
say the
honest.
three of us did a good job with that one?
Well, working out.
Yeah, we're not. We haven't blown up.
Well, Faw's about to go to a gym right now. But
might-
anyways, my project is the West Miami Recreational Center. The reason why is, number one, I was born in West Miami. My parents lived 2 blocks away from that. The first time I ever played baseball was at the rec. And our goal, and I would say the most important professional goal, was that we begin to go vertical. It was our first project. It's a 3-story and a high roof, so it's technically 4 stories. And it's been our goal for a long time. And the projects that we do are nowhere near the caliber of projects that we can do. And I feel that this is going to be the beginning of a lot for us. And so that project, the West Miami specifically, is a big one. So I'm glad that we talked about that. So let me ask you something. Do you feel that your goals in 2024 were hit? Do you feel that they weren't hit? How do you guys feel about what you guys accomplished compared to what you thought you were going to do? Do you think that your goals were, because now we're in 2025, do you feel that based on 2024 that your goals should be higher, should be maybe more realistic? Talk to me about your goals professionally and personally, but mostly professionally.
For me, I think that I established some, in corporate America, we used to call them big, hairy, audacious goals, BHAGs.
What's it called?
Big, hairy, audacious. Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Mine for 2024 were definitely stretched, but
So what are your goals for this year?
no.
No, we're gonna
I
talk
think
about that. I don't
for
care what you're
2020.
gonna,
No,
I don't
what
care
I-
what you're gonna say.
No. What I'm trying
What
to
are
say.
your goals
no,
for
hold on. What I'm
2025?
trying to say is that
All right, fine.
2024, for me personally, flew by. But I hit a lot of goals that I had set out for in 2024. So I see 2024 as a successful year. I certainly grew. I wouldn't have thought that I'd be where I am in 2025. What my goals are for 2025, I can't lay them out for you yet. Haven't really established them yet. I do know that.
Well, listen, we're already in January, so
I do know
better hurry up.
that one main one is that we're gonna do a 5+ multifamily story in 2025. So I'm looking forward to that.
5-story building.
Yeah, 5+ story.
So what goals
Multifamily.
did you hit in 2024?
We hired an estimator. I established relationships further than what I had before. I gotta go back and look at my 2024 goals. To be honest with you.
And I think that everybody, because
Let's look.
I asked some people and I said, "What's your New Year's resolution?" And you don't even have to have a New Year's resolution, but you definitely go look at your goals too.
No, I don't look at my goals.
No?
Till the day that I write the new goals. I
I
always
mean,
do that.
we're
I don't-
we're
hold
in
on.
January already.
Oh yeah, so I haven't written my New
Here,
Year's
you
resolutions yet.
you have them because I have a new phone.
I haven't written my New Year's resolution yet.
I
Because
have-
I think
I have Jazz's goals.
What I like to do is
You
I
have 'em.
like to write them
Pull 'em up.
down. I like to write them down in that moment, things that I want to achieve, and then
But do you
I don't
think
like attacking those individual goals. I like kind of approaching like, and this
There you
is
go.
100% legit. I like waking up every day and kind of going and putting in
they just happen.
my max effort and seeing with my genuine effort where did I get to in comparison to where I thought or I wanted to get to. And then I start analyzing, hey, what could I have done different? Was my effort fully there at all times? Could I have done something a little different? I don't like just attacking and being so focused on that one goal, believe it or not. I don't know.
So then I'm gonna challenge you as you write your goals this week, as we finish the first week of January. You can have long-term goals, and you can have 50,000 feet in the sky goals, but you have to have attainable unrealistic goals as well. And you have to have measurable goals, because short term and long term, you have to have them. Because what happens is we are people that need direction. We juggle a lot of things in our life. We have families, we have the gym, we have our health, we have the employees, we have the work to do, we have our clients. There's just so much that you have to have goals that are very, very, very intentional. And I encourage anybody to have them. Trust me, I'm the first one to just hit it as hard as I can and see where the cards may fall. But we also have to have very intentional goals, because sometimes we can find ourselves in a meeting on a Thursday morning and it can be struggle. We're like, yeah, but this meeting is the critical path to hitting my goal. And I trust me, I'm very, very alike in what you are, but I'm going to give you the rec as an example. I attacked that head on, and I knew exactly what I needed to do to obtain that goal. And it's like saving money. You can't just say, I want to save a bunch of money. You have to say, I want to save $50,000. I want to save $100,000. And then you have to say, well, then every week I need to take out $885 from my paycheck. You can't just say, I want to save money, because you know what's going to happen at the end of the year? You're not going to save anything.
Definitely. Measurable and attainable. The thing is, for me, at least, I think like landing a certain project of a certain scale, yes, I agree with you in that aspect, that it's good to look back and remind yourself, hey, this was one of your goals. Don't forget, like, because obviously you got to make certain moves and do certain things, put yourself in certain positions in order to achieve certain goals. But for example, if your goal was to save $1,500 a month, and at the end of the first month, you didn't save the $1,500, or let's say you started saving $1,500. By the third month, if you're not saving $1,500, you don't need to go back into your goals. Like, you already know, hey man, I was supposed to save $1,500 and I'm not doing it anymore. So I agree with you. There's some goals, but there's some goals that you know immediately, hey, I'm hitting those. And I agree with you too, that a lot of people set goals that are not really attainable. And they're like doing their New Year's resolution. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then they do it for a month.
Yeah, I agree that.
And then they do it for a month, and then they kind of, stop. It happens a lot with like working out. Everybody at the beginning of the year, the gym, the first week of the year, you can't get a machine. And then by
did you see the gym today? I went into the gym. I couldn't even. I had to leave. I went and worked out at my house. Freaking the first week of the year, everybody was in the gym.
Yeah, man.
I said, I'm gonna go work at my house. And last week in the end of December, nobody was there.
Yeah, I couldn't get a machine today.
Incredible.
There's a lot of people who don't understand what it is to set goals. I think that you, from a very early age, you've always been very goal oriented. It's kept you in line. It's kept you very focused. It's kept you very driven. I think you would agree. You're a goal-oriented person, and goal-oriented person, goal-oriented.
important.
You are too, though. You are too.
Yeah, I would say so. I these same goals that he has written down that I don't even have on my phone, I know exactly mentally what they are.
Anyways,
But
I think goals are important. So
other people just kind of hit it as hard as they possibly
my
can.
recommendation for everybody's goals is two things: have short-term goals, goals that you can start the gym, whatever it might be, something that's very, very attainable. Start the gym is one. Start eating healthy is two. Because a lot of these things, it's not about starting them; it's about continuing them. And so that's what Falz was saying. You can start it, but you got to continue it. So start the gym is a very easy goal. Just start the gym.
Start the gym.
Maybe the long-term goal will be continuing. Keep the gym
year.
going. But for us, and I think that this is really important. We haven't really talked about this. Unfortunately, I wish we had more time to maybe talk us three, and we have to talk about it in this platform. I want you guys to worry about maybe what size jobs we're gonna go, but I kind of also maybe don't want you to. I want you to focus on what can accounting do to support my goals. What can pre-construction do to support my goals? What can your goals do to support my goals? And as a team, if we can all work together to make sure that all of our goals support each other, I think it'd be very, very difficult for us as a company to not have an incredible 2025 and not to be successful. I'm going to give you an example. If my goal is, my goal is to, let's say, in the next 2 years to hit $100 million. That's my goal. Do you think that you need to have the same goal? Or do you think that knowing who I am as a person, by the way. But do you feel that your goal should be, well, maybe Oscar's goal is to hit $100 million? Well, then you know what? My goal should maybe be, how is accounting and accounting department going to support the financial responsibility
I agree.
that's going to be? How are we as estimators and pre-construction and HR going to support $100 million worth of work, And if your goal is to estimate, let's say, 10 jobs at the same time, meaning we're going to land jobs, then my responsibility is, how are we going to build $100 million worth of work? What superintendents are we training right now? So I think it's super important, and this is for you guys, but this is also for us, is that we realize that we in the next week we finalize our goals, and that we realize what can we do to support our goals. If maybe your goal, like one of your biggest goals,
100%.
is like the job cost everything, put it into Procore and all that stuff. What does that mean? Well, then that means that I need to do a better job with maybe the project managers to start job casting it. That means that you need to do a better job.
No, I
with that.
agree. That's
Which
inevitable.
we're already establishing that.
Yeah,
we're already
we
establishing
definitely, our goals definitely need to be aligned, 100% in our own capacity. In our own capacity. We do.
It's like what comes before the chicken or the
we do mix.
or the egg.
We do mix in our goals because we're all pushing to try to land work and build relationships. So yes, we need to have our goals aligned in our capacities to make sure that they're aligned. But we also do have the same goals in the sense that we're trying to bring in work. We're trying to meet more people. We're trying to
I think that we
network.
At least now we're all aligned in our goals.
I think so.
Our goals, we're all aligned. We're all trying to continue to go vertical. We're all trying to continue to, for
at
the
the end of the day,
part, we're now personal, may differ, but we're definitely all professionally aligned.
Oh no, personal goals definitely differ. We're on different parts of our lives at this moment.
Yeah, professionally, I think we're all aligned in our goals. And I agree. We need to support each other in our goals. That's why every year we talk about our goals and we lay them out. And
that's perfect. But what comes
they're here
if your goal says, hey, we want to have, let's say, 5 people, 10 people in pre-construction, it's a numbers game. The more jobs that we estimate, the more jobs we're going to land. So if your goal is to have 5, 10 people in pre-construction, then what's going to happen? Then our company is going to grow. We're going to need more project managers. We're going to have more superintendents, meaning that we're going to have to train more people in the field, meaning that everything's going to grow. The thing is that what I think makes us so special, being the Tres Amigos, is that we all have very different goals, but we're all pushing in the same direction, maybe in different lanes.
In our own verticals.
But we're all pushing with the same momentum. And I don't think that a lot of companies have that, but that's their problem, not ours. I had a question here, which I couldn't understand this question that I wrote here, but
that you typed.
Yeah, that I typed here. It says, "Do you feel we're changing people's perspective of us in this industry? Do you feel that in the last year, 2024, we have changed the way that people perceive John Bell construction?
Yeah, I think so.
In what way?
I think so. I think we're getting much less residential project calls. That's one way. That's one simple way.
Yeah, 2024, we stopped doing residential jobs.
Exactly. Think about 8 months ago, 10 months ago, 12 months ago, how many residential phone calls we would get.
Yeah.
I was literally
taking
point. 4 or 5 a day. Goes back to authenticity. We're putting out there what we are, what we do.
Yeah, the media helps a lot on that.
What we are, what we do, what we're about, and we're having to say it less, and it speaks to ourselves.
Yeah, I think the media has definitely created a perception, while at the same time helping people understand what we do and who we are. But inevitably, people are gonna create opinions, and they're gonna create their own perception of who we are based on what they see. They may think we're bigger, or some of our competitors may see us and they may say, hey, these guys are smaller than what we think they are. And some people that don't know much about the industry may say, like my family, they call me and they say, oh man, you guys are doing such big projects. And I'm like, yeah, our goals are to have bigger projects, and my family doesn't know about construction, thinks that the projects we're doing are huge because before they knew we were doing remodels and whatever, so it's really perception and how people see it too.
Do you care about what people think about us? Like, do you care about what our competitors think about us? Do you care about what this?
Man, I really don't, man. I really do not care what anybody thinks about us. I really do not care. I honestly don't even care what our clients think about us, because I don't know. I've always lived my life that way. If I cared about what people said or thought about me, I would have gone crazy growing up. I've always had a reputation behind me based on people's perception of me. However, the people that knew me closest, loved me and who I was, which is all I really cared about. I think as long as I know what we did and the foot that we put forward, I really don't care what people think about us. I think that our actions and what we do will inevitably speak louder than their thoughts. Yeah.
No, listen, because what you say is like, that's big. Like to say like, oh, I don't care what the client thinks about us, but I understand, because what happens, it's like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
I care if we make a mistake. If we make a mistake that we recognize was a mistake, then I care because I feel at fault for them negatively perceiving us. But if they're negatively perceiving us and we put our best foot forward, then no, I don't care, because I feel like we did the best that we could do. Is it always gonna work out the best? No, maybe not. But am I gonna lose sleep over it? Hey man, I did the best that I could do. Now if we didn't and we messed up, and then that's a different story. Hey, I want to make it right.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I know Jazz wants to say something, but I compare it to being a dad. There's a lot of things. What happens is that there's a couple of things. Number one is that there's our clients, and as we grow, our clients are not. It's not going to be their first construction project. It's usually their second, third, or so on. So what happens is they've already been in this, but sometimes what happens is, like, when you're a dad and you're a parent, the kid doesn't know any better, and they maybe not trust you. They may not see it in the light that you see it, with the understanding and the like my parents, like my dad says, la sabiduría, in the wisdom in which we do. And that's what FOS means, is that it's not that we don't care what they say, is that ultimately, at the end of the job, they're going to realize that what we did was for their best interest. And we kind of have to navigate through that difficult maybe conversation and time of that project. And we can't constantly worry and care so much about what that client is saying at that time, because that client at the end of the day doesn't know what's best for their job the way that we do. And I can relate to that. We're having that kind of situation now where we kind of have to kind of like fight through that. But anyways, the perspective of what people think in this industry about us. What do you think, Jay?
Wait, I'm sorry. We do need to listen to their opinion about us. We do need to listen to their opinion about us and the way that they perceive us, because perception is reality. We need to make adjustments, but I feel like we will determine what adjustments we think are worth making, and ultimately we will become the best solution or the best that we can be based on those perceptions. It's hard to explain. It's more of an approach perspective than a result perspective and an ultimatum. Because I agree with you. Hey, as we start doing work for bigger developers that have had 3, 4, 5 GCs, they're gonna say, "Hey, man, John Bell. Hey, Albert, I realize that you guys don't do this. Why aren't you guys doing that? It's that you guys should be doing that." Okay, then we may need to make an adjustment. So we definitely got to listen to the way that they perceive us and they see us. But I'm not like, oh man, he thinks we're doing this wrong, and it's like, I don't look at it negatively. I look at it as an opportunity really to to grow. You know, I feel like when you're doing good and you're putting your best foot forward, ultimately, hey, you may need to make some adjustments, but people will realize, hey, they're the best for us in a way.
No, but I also think that the way that we do things, the way that we build, and I know it's a set of our podcast and our motto at John Bell Construction is set apart. We do things very, very, very different. And it doesn't mean that the other ways that other contractors do it is wrong. Sometimes it is. It just means that we really come with a very different approach
In essence,
in the way that the job is done.
100%.
And it kind of like hits the client in the chin, and they're like, they don't know what to react. In that case, you have to sometimes, you got to kind of, and I tell them, you got to just trust us. You got to just trust us. At the end of the day, the job is going to be done before or on the date that we promised and at the price that we promised. And you got to just let us do our thing. But anyways, I want to move on from this, but go ahead so we can finish this.
My biggest thing or struggle on the pre-construction and business development side is that sometimes you have 20 seconds when you first meet somebody to explain what John Bell is about, who we are, right? And in that moment, not in any other moment, but in that moment, I do care what the other person thinks. You know, I never care what anybody thinks about us or me or you guys, or because we know what we're about. But when you have 20, 30 seconds elevator pitch, you're meeting them for the first time. They've obviously dealt with other general contractors in this city for many, many years. They've had successful projects.
Yeah, we want them to fall in love with us.
Exactly. You have 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Those are the 30 seconds that you think about, what is that other person thinking?
So what do you tell them? Right now, listen. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Nice to meet you, Jazz.
Who are you with?
I'm vice president of John Bell Construction.
Oh my God, what do you guys do?
We're a local general contractor. We specialize in commercial new construction and large remodeling projects. And from there, the conversation goes. But to not elaborate on the elevator pitch.
No, I want you to elaborate on it.
You take the conversation where it goes.
Where do you take it?
I make it a little bit more personal. I try to find out what they do. But, you know, the reality is that you have to care about what the other person perceives of you to be able to show what you're about. And sometimes the other person doesn't perceive much because maybe they don't have the following yet. Maybe they haven't heard our podcast, followed us on Instagram, right? So what I try to do is say, hey, listen, we're a local general contractor, not like many general contractors that you've worked with before. Full team, personalized service, boutique approach, local on Bird Road and 60th Court. You can find us anytime. These are the projects that we do. We don't do everything, but we focus on the client. We focus on the architect and contractor relationship. We'll do public work. We'll do commercial work. We'll do private work. We'll do restaurants. We'll do retail. We'll do what you need to get done because we're builders at the end of the day. But what we're most focused on is the relationship with you and the experience that you have over the next 12, 14, 18 months, whatever it may be. So that in essence is the pitch, is the approach, but you have 20 seconds to change that person's perception of you. So those are the only moments that I really care about what people think. If you approach a conversation with somebody already knowing who you are, it's even better. Oh yeah, John Bell Construction. I've heard of your podcast. I've seen you guys on Instagram. Tell me, that changes things. That's where it's.
Do you think the media has helped a little bit of that pitch?
Absolutely. You go into a conversation with somebody knowing a little bit about you, right?
No, and I said it earlier that I was at this event last week and somebody I had met somebody new, and they're like, "Hey, but what is that you guys do?" And I'm like, "Here, let me show you. You have Instagram? Look, this is exactly what we do. I don't have to tell you what we do, what we don't. This is just look. This is what we do. This is who we are. So it's helped. It's helped me. It's helped me. Social media portray who we are.
All right. What are you guys most proud of what we did in 2024?
Most proud of?
Yeah.
You go ahead.
No, Jazz been talking for 20 minutes. Go ahead.
You go first.
what am I most proud of? Most proud of in 2024, I think the development of our culture with our people. I think how our people feel is a reflection of us, and I feel for a while there, we were trying to take on as leaders, we were trying to take on too many things, and we were in a way being pushy leaders. And I think that in a way we still have and set a very high expectation, but the morale and the culture has made things easier in the sense that people again are very passionate about what they're doing, and they feel like they're a part of the company and the ultimate bigger goal. And I think I'm very, very proud of that retention that we've been able to hold our people. I'm very, very happy and proud of that, and that we've made that adjustment this year. And that started this year. That did not start last year. That started this year.
I love that. And I think that's its own podcast. We can elaborate on that a lot. You're
The reality is
you're
that,
dying to say something on that, and I agree.
listen,
Is that
On
your-
that,
your-
I have my own answer.
But is that your?
No, that's not my answer.
What's your answer?
I'll piggyback off of that, and I'll say that
my answer
because
is
of go ahead.
similar to yours. But go ahead.
No. I'll piggyback off of that. Although I wanted to answer that
I love piggyback
because
rides.
that's a great answer. But I'll piggyback off of that and say that because of that culture that we've implemented, our departments have been able to create a relationship, a communicative relationship that has made our business better. Accounting is communicating with estimating is communicating with project management is communicating with the field that we've never had before. And that's been very impactful because I've seen it. I've seen the team members and departments communicating. It's made a world of difference. The fact that estimating can communicate to project management, have handoff meetings. Accounting is communicating with estimating on how we code certain things. I mean, those are things that we've never spoken about before. That's going to make our business much, much better. The field is communicating with project management on a whole different level. All day, every day, you hear project management communicating with the field, and it only makes the projects that much better. So I think our culture has lended itself to that.
No, to me, what's crazy is that everything that we set out to do, not even now, I feel like that we've tried to do, I feel like, and I don't want to jinx it, but everything that we've wanted to do for 9 years has happened in 2024, which is ironic because at the end of the day, the people have been so instrumental in our growth, but financially, this has been one of our worst years financially.
Least prosperable, or if you want to call it.
What we did this year compared to what we did last year, we did less in total revenue, but I don't know, it's not that it didn't matter, but it felt like we kind of needed that, and we needed to go with what we were going through to be able to have what we're going. And what's the thing I'm most proud of? I'm proud of the relationships that we've built. And that I've built. We have built extremely, extremely strong relationships. And it's not like this bullshit type of relationship. It's like this strong relationship where that person knows that they can count on us, that they know that we're not fake, we're not in it for the money, we're not in it for the anything. The thing is that obviously through media, people can kind of perceive us in a way where like, oh, these people just want it for the media, and the people just want it for like the highlight and all that, and for the picture. I don't care about that. At the end of the day, I know that's not true. But the relationships that we've been able to grow in this year, the amount of work that we've done and the fruit that we've already seen in this year, I'm gonna tell you that I'm 34 now. When I'm 54, we will always look back to the year that we had in 2024 as a catalyst as to why John Bell Construction is the company that it is. Because I'm telling you, what we have been able to do in the last year, I don't think that many people can do it, and not as organic as us. We're not bought. We don't buy people. We're just, and I know it sounds crazy because people don't believe it. The other day I was at the toy drive in the Biltmore, and this lady comes up to me and she goes, "Listen," it was midnight, and she goes, "You know what? I hope that one day you have the bank account of John Bell." And I go,
However, you blew his mind right now. He's
You're wearing a John Bell shirt?
"No, bro, I'm wearing shorts and a hoodie
Oh,
and Crocs." And she goes, "You know what? I see you at all the events, and I hope that you one day have the bank account of John Bell."
the same bank account.
And I go, "I have it." She goes, "That's the spirit."
That's funny. That's actually really
That's what
funny.
she said. She goes, "And that's the spirit. You're gonna speak it into existence."
And you will always have it.
And you know what's crazy is that,
That's funny.
and what's crazy to me is, that's fine with me.
because you're doing the work that person thought somebody else would do.
Exactly. And I'm perfectly fine with people not realizing that we are John Bell.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with somebody thinking that I'm a hired employee. But I know that what it takes to be, the George Merricks, the Rockefellers, the Henry Flaglers of the world are the people that are willing to do, what we're doing. And I think that us three, cannot forget that the foundations that we're creating and the foundation that we have through the John Bell Foundation is just the beginning of what people are going to do, way after us. And I personally don't think that you two understand what it is that we're going to do. And I don't even think that I understand what's going to happen after us. But I guarantee you it's going to be massive. And we're going to have a conversation about the John Bell Foundation, because what the John Bell Foundation is going to do in 2025 is I'm telling you, it's going to blow your guys' mind, and it's going to blow everybody's mind. But rapid fire. Listen, somehow nobody understands that rapid fire is rapid fire, and it has to
rapid
be
fire.
and it needs to be quick.
Rapid fire.
It needs to be.
It has to be
Rapid
quick.
fire. Fine.
The
Rapid
thing is
fire.
that we
Quick.
need. Hold on, I'm about to say this. We need the production team to put a 5, 4, 3, 2, bang, buzzer. So production team's got to get with it.
All right, here we go. Ready? Favorite project for 2025? What was it? I mean, for 2024.
Vascardio.
And
HTM.
nice. And for me was the West Miami Recreational Center.
I love it.
What are you most excited for 2025? Jazz, Foz, what are you most excited for 2025?
that's a
Apparently,
big one.
Jazz is not excited for anything.
Our first development project.
Oh, to
Our
develop.
first internal development project.
Come back.
Not for a client.
Go, Jazz.
6-story multifamily.
Wowza. Well, favorite part of your job, Jazz?
Leading.
Foz?
Counting money.
What's your favorite part of working with your best friends?
Lunch.
Lunch.
Is that a good one? That's a good one.
What's your favorite lunch spot?
Mine?
Look at that.
Fuck.
Tell
So
me.
bad, bro.
I gotta go with Floridita. Gots to.
We have better lunch meetings at A Pizza Brooklyn.
Nah, I gotta go with Floridita.
Wow.
Yeah,
clutch.
Florida's.
It's classic.
He took the best one.
It's
What am I gonna
classic.
say?
Oh, you took lunch. I took lunch too. You can take Floridita.
Picadillo? No.
I hate that
You
place.
say Florida. I know.
Listen,
No, Floridita and A Pizza Brooklyn. We have good lunch meetings.
I love having lunch with you guys.
I know.
I love having lunch. Can you imagine having, think about it. Can you imagine having
It's
lunch
what
with
we-
your best friend every single day?
I know. It's what we look forward to because the day's hard enough. We separate. Can we separate an hour? We separate an hour.
It's an hour making fun of
We
me.
block.
You guys
for
release your
Albert.
stress
on Albert.
on me for an hour.
Yeah, well, it makes us feel better.
we get them all riled up.
Yeah. What do you want to do that you've never done, Foz, other than a development project?
Have kids.
Travel abroad?
You've never traveled abroad?
No, not to
What?
Europe. Go to Europe. Go to Europe.
Where would you go in Europe?
No, like
Italia,
Italy,
Italia.
Spain. I'd like to go to Italy or Spain or Greece.
What? That has okay. Can that be your goal? Like a
I would
personal
love
goal
to.
for
So-
2025?
So if not 2025, 2026. 'cause
no,
it's our,
you could be dead in 2026.
yeah, I know, but it's our 10-year anniversary. Although we've already decided
Who,
that
John
we're
Bell?
going to St. Lucia. No, my wife,
Oh,
my
okay.
marriage.
Oh, right,
10-year
right,
anniversary.
Yeah,
No, our
bro.
10-year
Okay,
anniversary is also
Oh my gosh, they a couple
2026.
2 weeks away.
Yeah, I know. We the company started
It was
just
February
weeks away
4th,
from my
5th,
marriage.
6th. What day is it?
What?
February what?
6.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope it's the 6th.
You only have
Yeah, so
12 months
I would
ago.
love to
sorry,
to travel.
13
bro.
months ago.
Wow.
It's okay. I only gotta put
Listen,
aside a few.
Listen, we're gonna turn 9 this year. 9 years old. We're gonna be in the third grade.
But hold on, can I ask you something?
Yes.
2025 9 is not 10. Is 2025 going to be bigger than 2026 in terms of any kind of celebration?
2025 is gonna be much bigger than 2026.
Get ready.
Wait, repeat that question.
So 2025 is 9 years of John Bell construction. I asked him if 2025 celebration will be bigger than 2026. He says yes.
No, the celebration that we're gonna have this year is gonna be great. So I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna have we're gonna be launching officially the John Bell Foundation. We're gonna have a massive, I'm just gonna say party, massive party celebrating the 9 years of John Bell construction, and we're also gonna celebrate the launch of the John Bell Foundation. I'm telling you, you guys can't fathom the year that we're gonna have and the party that we're gonna have and the celebration that we're gonna have come April or May. I'm also gonna tell everybody, and my Foz, we've hired a director of philanthropy for the John Bell Foundation. She's officially hired. We're working on the 501c3. We're working on the bank account. We're working on the email. We're working on the logo. We're working on the domain. We're working on the venue already. And we have the perfect person to lead that. The problem is that the John Bell Foundation has already happened. It's already been since day one, since 2016, since when we went to Texas for Harvey, and we went and we've done, Hurricane Helene, and we've done Hurricane Milton, and we've helped the community. Like all of that has been philanthropic work. We're just gonna now do it through a different entity, and it'd be even more purposeful. So, the thing that I'm most excited for this year is to blow our revenue goal, and is to launch and
The foundation.
The foundation. The foundation's gonna
It's going to be big.
what the John Bell Foundation is gonna do and what John Bell Construction is gonna do in this community. I don't even think that we can even fully fathom what it's gonna be. So, and I'm really excited about it. So
It's going to be awesome. And I'm excited to do it with you guys.
It's going to be great.
Well.
Fired up.
So
Make it happen.
the Tres Amigos.
The Tres Amigos. Here we are.
Let me ask you. Now we're on the camera. If you ever get married, which I hope you do.
Wait, we're on camera?
Yes. If you ever get married, which I hope you do, can you pick a best man?
I can't pick either of you.
He's not going to pick either of us.
He's gonna pick his dad.
Of course, I'm
You
not
know
going to pick
why?
either of you.
You know why?
You guys
I
don't
know
deserve
why.
it.
He's gonna pick his
Exactly.
dog.
No, we don't deserve it. You don't know why? Because when you got married, you picked me. When I got married, you picked you.
Neither of you guys.
Although-
I'm letting you know right now. You guys are walking my wedding, but neither of you are,
Yeah, no,
are my
which is-
best men.
He
Hold
can probably
on,
be the
which is-
flower boy.
hold on,
He's
which is-
short.
Listen, which is BS because when you picked me and when I picked you, it was a different dynamic. You can't go off of that time.
Yeah, bro.
Are you telling me what I can and can't do
totally
on my
Absolutely.
wedding, Nila?
That's
It's
our job.
totally different
That's what we do.
times.
Where's the rule book for this?
Why can't you have two best men?
You can.
Listen, he can be the flower girl,
You
and I
can
can be your
have
And
best
I'm
man.
in charge. I'm in charge of your suits.
You can have
Which
two
we
best
already
men.
know.
You
Please
can have
don't
two
do
best
that.
men.
I'm in charge of your suits.
Stop.
And
You're not in charge of our
and
suits.
Oscar will be in charge of the venue
Last time
and the
that
best.
I was in charge, he was in charge of our suits. My pants ripped when I was
That's
booty dancing
only
at my wedding.
because he never went to try it on. He never ever went to fit. I couldn't get you guys to go.
Yeah,
fit
because he
your
finished the
suits.
last day. Anyways, we're not going to charge you. You're not going to be in charge of the suits. I will be in charge of the suits. And listen, you will have an incredible bachelor party.
No. You're either in charge of the suits or bachelor.
We'll do both.
So
Wait, we're having
Suits
a
or
bachelor
bachelor?
party?
Bobby, listen to me.
I didn't know this was happening. I have that.
We're not going to invite Jazz. Listen, I don't know. At the end of the day, We're three best friends. We work together. Three different people. Somebody has studied business and marketing. Somebody has studied accounting. Somebody has studied construction with one goal: to serve clients, serve the people, serve our community, serve our employees. And we're going to continue to blow this up. And we're really happy that you guys are here to witness it. But most importantly, we're happy that you guys are here to support us. So we love you. I hope you have a great 2025. Let us know your goals, that they be attainable, but they be something that you know that God has to do something incredible in your life to attain it. So love you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.